Hi guys, welcome back to Linkside 201. Today is set 3.4. We are going to talk about phonological rules and analysis. This will be the final lecture for set 3. Okay. Today's agenda and some disclaimer. Today we are going to talk about phonological rules and analysis. And this disclaimer is that actually this is a complicated skill. You may not be able to pick up how to do the analysis right after this lecture because it takes time, practice, and experiences to be able to do the analysis. There are other reasons as well because we are going to use some linguistic jargons and some specific notations. You have to be familiar with these guys to be able to do the analysis. However, it's fun to solve phonological puzzles. It's very similar to playing Sudoku or crossword puzzles. Okay. Before we begin today's lecture, let's do some review. We have been talking about phonemes and allophones, right? So phonemes is the mental representations, and allophones is the real physical sounds that is derived by the same phoneme. So we can say two sounds are the allophones of the same phoneme. And we have talked about two concepts. First one is the minimal pair. Okay, what do minimal pair tell about the status of sounds? Okay, and the other concept is complementary distribution. Okay, so actually if we have minimal pairs, it tells us that these two sounds are different phonemes. And if we have two sounds, which are in complementary distribution, then these two sounds should be allophones of the same phoneme. For example, unreleased T and T with aspiration, these two sounds are in complementary distribution. In other words, this phoneme can be realized as this one or this one. Okay, it means that these two sounds are the allophones of the same phoneme. Okay. And when we have allophones of the same phoneme, then we are able to analyze the allophones because they are predictable if we have the right rule. So actually rules can be written in prose or informal rules. We can try to use prose first. So it's P sound here at the beginning of the syllable will have an aspiration. For example, pop, we have an aspiration. However, when the P sound follows a S sound, as in spot, this P sound is not released. It has a sound quality similar to bird sound, but still is a P sound, but it just does not have the released property. So in prose, we can say this phoneme is pronounced as this one with aspiration at the beginning of a syllable. As you can see here, is the beginning of the syllable, is the first onset. Okay, and the same P is realized as this guy, unreleased P sound. The environment is that when it follows an S sound within the same syllable. So this is the first way to to write rules. We can do it in prose. And the other way is to use formal rules. Actually, this method is preferable. Okay. So we can say P becomes this guy. We use double slashes to indicate phoneme. Remember that? And we use angled bracket. We use square brackets to indicate phones. Okay, so P becomes this guy when it is in this environment, and P becomes this guy unreleased P when it is in this environment. We are going to talk about these notations right away. So there are some specific notations. So we are familiar with this guy, right? Slashes, phoneme, square brackets. Here's a type of phones. Okay. And the arrow means become, right? And we use slash to indicate the environment where the alternation applies. And we use this guy, this another square brackets, and this sigma to indicate syllable boundary. So actually this sigma in lowercase means syllable. So this means the beginning of the syllable. And this pound sign means empty. So it means that there's nothing between the syllable boundary and the position where the target is and the position of the target alternation, which is the P sound. Then this means that this P sound is at the beginning of the syllable, right? And same here, this underline is indicating, this underscore sign is indicating the position of the target of alternation, which is a P sound in this case. And it means that it follows the S sound. Okay. And yes, I know it's a lot to take to understand and to use these notations. So yeah, it takes time and practice. Okay, so actually the formal rules is in this form. So we use slash to indicate the basic form, and it becomes the predictable form. And slash indicates the, and then we have the specific environments. Okay. Let me give you another example. But before that, here is some linguistic facts about English.
This video is a spin-off of the can versus can't video. We're going to take one of the concepts from that video and broaden it into a general rule. One of the ways you can tell the difference between can and can't is the length of the word. Can will be a little longer and a little smoother than can't, which will be a little bit more abrupt. Can, can. That's because of the stop T, which makes that abrupt ending. The T is an unvoiced consonant, and as a general rule, a one-syllable word that ends in an unvoiced consonant will be shorter than the same word if it was to end in a voiced consonant. So here the final consonant is actually affecting vowel length. Let's look at some examples. Rack, rag, rack, rag. Do you hear that the second word is just a little bit longer? That's because of the voiced consonant at the end. Here you see the word rack on the left compared with rag on the right. You can see that the length of rack is shorter. Hid, hit. actually answers a question that someone sent me in an email quite a while ago. How to tell the difference between fall and full. The only difference in IPA is the T, and as you know, final T's are often not released. Fall, full. Can you hear that the second one is shorter? Full, full. It's that stop T that's cutting off the sound, that unvoiced consonant at the end that, even though is not released, does affect the vowel length. That's it, and thanks so much for using Rachel's English.
Okay, let's see the generalization. So in English, vowels are lengthened when they appear before a voiced consonant, right? As shown in the video. So actually, we can do it. We can describe the alternation using formal statements, using formal rules as well. So remember that these two dots means lengthening. Okay. So again, slash phoneme and square brackets phones. So a vowel become lengthened in this environment. C indicates consonants, okay, and V indicates vowels, okay. So in this environment, so this underscore means the target of alternation, which is the vowel, okay. So when this vowel precedes a voiced consonant, it's lengthened, and the vowel is not lengthened when it is followed by a voiceless consonant. Okay. However, think about these rules again. Do we really need both rules? Okay. The answer is no. Actually, we can revise the rules in this manner. So we did not change the first one. However, we can change the second one. We don't need to specify the environment. Instead, we can just say elsewhere. So the first rule will apply, and if we did not have the first environment, then we just simply do the second one, the second alternation. Okay. This set of rules is better than this one because it's more elegant. So actually, the elsewhere is the default rule. Okay. Again, let's take a look at the details of the formal rules. So we have this form. The basic form becomes the predictable form in the specific environment. However, given the alternation between two sounds, A and B, the first problem we have to solve is which one is the base form, right? The answer is that the less predicted one, in other words, the one with wider distributions, is the base form. And then how do we describe the environment? We have to use natural classes and features. Actually, this is hard as well for beginners because you don't know what are the natural classes available for you to use. So you just need to do more practice and memorize what kind of natural classes we can use. Okay, let me give you another example. Okay, now let's try to solve the puzzle of the alternation in Spanish, this sound and this sound. So examine the phones, the and the in Spanish, which are allophones of the same phoneme. State a rule that describes the alternation. Okay, so there are several steps, actually 3 steps to do this analysis. The first one is to find out the distribution. Normally we use a table to write down the distributions. So we can begin with the sound first. So let me use this guy. Okay. So actually this does sound the first guy. Okay. So this guy here is this one. Okay. So we use pound sign to indicate nothing, right? So this does sound, the first does sound is between nothing and this little guy here. And the second does sound is between nothing and O sound. You do it, you drop down all the environment. So C is this one, nothing and I, right? I sound, E sound, okay. And this guy, the sound is between N and R, and then this the sound is between and O sound, right? You do it all the way down, and you write down all the environment, all the distribution of the sound, and then you do the same thing for the sound. Okay, so this guy is this one. Okay, the sound is between 2 R sounds, right? And then this guy is this one. The sound is between R and O, right? And then do the same. You do the same thing for this one and for this one. Okay, then we have a table of the distribution. Okay, and the second step is to decide which one should be the base. Okay, and we need to find which one has a wider distribution and is less predictable. Actually, the third sound is occurring in different environments than this one. So actually the sound has a wider distribution. So the sound should be the base. Now we got the first part of the environment of the rule. The becomes the. And then we have to figure out what the environments are. Okay. The third step, which is the third step, we're trying to describe the triggering environment, which is this one. So we try to find the shared property of these environments. Okay, actually there are several ways to describe the environment. The first one is we can say informally the environments are between vowels, right? Or between vowels. Or we can use this notation. V indicates vowels, right? And the underline means the location, the position of the alternation. Or we can use these features. So we have a feature consonantal, and vowels are minus consonantal, right? So we have the environment will be minus consonantal, the position and minus consonantal. So the becomes the between vowels. This is a better notation because we are using features. And then we have the elsewhere rule. The becomes the, just at any other environment. Okay. So again, the rules, the schema of the rules is like this: base form, predictable form, and the specific environments. So first step, we have to decide which one is the base. The wider distribution should be the base. And how do we describe the environment? We use natural classes and features. Okay, because we are talking about natural classes, let me name some natural classes. So a natural classes is a group of sounds which has a particular feature or combination of features in common, and they are treated as a group by the phonology. So for example, we have labial consonants. These guys are labial consonants, and we can use features to indicate this set plus labial. And we can say low vowels. For example, these two vowels, we can use features to describe this set as well, plus low. Okay, and there are more classes as well. So oglides, liquids, nasals, and vowels are plus sonorant because they produce more sounds. And stop and fricative are minus sonorant because they are less louder. And all consonants are plus consonantal, and vowels are minus consonantal. And actually, the natural classes can be narrow as well. So, for example, high vowels would be plus high and minus consonantal. Okay. And if we try to describe all the voiceless consonants, we can use minus voiced and plus consonantal. And if you want to pick up the voiceless labial stops, we can use this guy, minus voiced and plus labial. Okay, I think here we have a typo here, and then I have to have a another feature which is minus. Okay, let me do this again. So voiceless labial stops would have three features: minus voiced, plus labial, and minus continuant. Okay, minus continuant. So these three features will mean voiceless labial stops. Okay, here is the summary of this lecture. So when two sounds are in a minimal pair, that means that these two sounds are different phonemes. And then we do not need to analyze the alternation. However, when the two sounds are in complementary distribution, that means that these two sounds are allophones of the same phoneme. And then we should be able to find out the rules that govern governing the alternation. And then how to analyze the alternation? We have this general form of the rule. So we have a basic form become some predictable form, and we slash, and then in a specific environment. So there are several steps. First one is to find out the distribution using a table, using something like this one to find out the distribution. And then we need to decide the base form. The less predictable one with wider distributions should be the base form. Okay. And then the final part is to find out what is shared in the triggering environments. And then we can use features and natural classes to describe the triggering environment. Okay. That's it. Thank you. Today's lecture is long and complicated, but it's fun. And there will be a bonus exercise for this lecture. I mean, in addition to the one that goes with this lecture, there will be I'll put up a real puzzle for you guys to solve as a bonus. Okay, thank you and see you next time.